I want to introduce you to a new docuseries called Quarter Ton Teen. It recently premiered on A&E, and since this channel is a harbor for Dr. Nalzardan fans, and admittedly I'm a big one too, here is his endorsement of Quarter Ton Teen. And let me warn you, in this clip, the Iranian accent is really accenting. So here we go.
Hello, how y'all doing? I want to remind you that incidence of childhood and adolescent obesity increasing in the United States in an alarming rate. I want to encourage you to watch a new TV show called Quarter Ton Teen that is going to premiere on A&E TV Monday, April 22nd, 9 p.m. Eastern Time and 8 p.m. Central Time. The show will follow different teenagers over 2 to 3 years period as they work to lose weight and transform their life. It is an important series that addresses the problem of growing epidemic obesity in the childhood and adolescence. Even though I'm not in that series, some great doctors are. So you make sure you watch the show.
So here's the breakdown of Season 1, Episode 1. The documentary opens up with a shocking scene of phone camera footage of a girl being attacked in a school hallway. And the subject, a 13-year-old Breia Jenae, is speaking about her experience as an obese teen.
It hurts me every day when people fight me because of my size. It hurts me dearly.
We do find out that this footage is indeed Breia Jenae being assaulted. It can't even be called a fight, and I'll explain that later. But essentially, production does a fantastic job of introducing Breia Jenae and a pretty important dynamic in her life. And that dynamic is the relationship she has with her mother, Melanie Maxwell. Let me stop here and apologize for the grainy pictures. A&E is really protective of this production right now. You won't find these pictures anywhere else unless they're grainy like this, and it's only available on A&E like regular TV and then through paid streaming services. So I did the best I can, but I felt like this documentary was important enough to deliver some sort of synopsis about it to you, and you'll see why. So continuing with the docuseries, it becomes easy to gather that Breia Jenae has a mother who loves her very much, but has gone about expressing that love in maladaptive ways. As a result, we have a 13-year-old child who is 5 foot 5 inches and weighs 434.8 pounds. She's pre-diabetic, hypertensive, arthritic with aching joints, and the victim of relentless bullying. Her mobility reminds you of somebody who's middle age or older, and Breia Jenae is living just a tragic nightmare of a teenage life.
Breia Jenae is who I live for. I eat, breathe, and sleep so that my little girl can be happy. And at the end of the day, I just want Breia to be healthy and happy. If you can have her be healthy at the same weight that she's now, we're fine. But I know that it's not possible for her. And I want her healthy because I want her to be here a long time. Breia Jenae was a pleasant surprise for me. But the day she was born was nerve-wracking for me. Breia Jenae was born 1 month and 3 days early. And they did not want her to be, but her heart rate started to fall, and they thought that it was necessary to induce labor to take her. And in doing so, her heart stopped beating. So I actually lost her before I got her. And I think that's why I became an overbearing, overprotective parent. I tell all the time, you're perfect for me, you're just for me. She's giving, she's kind, she's compassionate, she's just perfect.
Breia's mom, Melanie, is neither coy nor lukewarm in her admission that she did this, and she is responsible for Breia Jenae's life as a morbidly obese teen.
They're going to say, well, hey, where did she get it from? Yes, I did. I take responsibility for that.
As promised, returning to the opening scene, Melanie explains that what was happening was that Breia Jenae was being dragged by another student by her hair. The student ran by her, pulled her down by her hair. When asked why the student did this, she stated that she wanted to see if she could pull down an elephant. With all the consequences of chronic bad habits and choices staring them both in the face, Melanie and Breia decide to take action. But it's actually more accurate to say that the momentum for change is being supplied more by Melanie's motivation at the beginning, more so than Breia's at first.
I want her to get this here done and be a teenage girl and make her have a better life, and us as well.
Miss Breia, we're going to go this way to our right. Hello. Okay, sweet girl, go ahead and turn to our left. Go ahead and step on the scale and face me, okay? For 34.8. Okay, go ahead and step down.
I didn't expect to see that. That's the highest way I ever weighed on a scale.
Now, I don't know how to feel because I'm actually afraid that he'll say no. You get no's in life, but this no, I think it'll destroy her.
Hey guys,
Hello, how you doing?
I'm Eric Wilson.
I'm Ronald.
Hey Ronald.
I'm Melanie.
Melanie, nice to meet you. And you're Breia?
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Breia. How are you? So first, tell me, how long have you had weight issues?
I started having weight issues around, I think, 6, 7.
6 or 7 years old?
Yes.
Okay, so what happened at that time?
I don't know.
Mom and Dad, y'all can chime in too.
Well, she was a big baby. She was like the biggest baby in the nursery, 3rd grade. She was almost bigger than the teacher. And it just kind of like gradually happened.
Okay, so what have you done to try to lose weight?
We've done diets. We've gone to doctors, dietitians. Nothing's working. It won't go away.
Mm-hmm. It's a chronic disease, okay? And it is a disease. Yes, there are behaviors that play into obesity. No doubt about that. And we need to explore those behaviors. Let's talk about what you choose to eat. Like when you're not focused on a diet, you can give me a few of your favorite foods.
Favorite food? Pizza.
I eat pizza, hot dogs, nachos, burgers, fries, and I go to chips, candy, soda.
Okay, well, that's an honest answer. You're 5'4", and you're 435 pounds. That gives you a body mass index of about 75. And a normal BMI is 22 to 23. Yours is more than 3 times that. You're on a path where if things don't change, you're going to have significant health problems that are ultimately going to affect your life and your ability to live. You now have some health issues, like you have some blood pressure issues and you have early diabetes. Okay, all right. If we don't do something about this now, ultimately you're going to start having organ problems, such as your heart, lungs, kidneys. As you get heavier, you're likely going to lose your ability to move. Once you get bedridden, the odds of you living long-term dramatically drop. And so if we're going to reduce the risks of these diseases getting worse, we need to attack the obesity, okay? What the surgery is going to do is going to make you less physically hungry, but we need to learn how to eat as good as possible and get good habits established before surgery. Now, one of the things that frustrates me the most as a surgeon that does this is people thinking that this is an easy way out. There's no easy way out. Okay? This is hard work. You think you're ready for this?
Yes.
Why? You've sat here and nodded and stuff like that. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
You are ready for this. How do you know? Don't look at your mom. I want you to look at me. Let me tell you something. Okay, so I have teenagers come in with their parents. Sometimes the parents want it more for their child than they want it themselves, okay? You have to decide this is something you want for yourself, okay? So this has to be your decision that you want. You don't need to be getting surgery simply because your mom wants you to do it. You've got to want it, okay? Because you're going to be doing the work.
Well, I've been wanting it for a long time now, and I had got to a point I was like, I was ready to stop eating what I was eating and change so I could start doing what I wanted to do at my teenage years.
What do you want to do?
Well, I've always wanted to play sports.
Play sports?
Yeah. And volleyball.
So you get your weight down, you can be more active, more mobile, and be able to play volleyball. I think that's a great goal. All right. We need to do more tests, but if everything clears, I think you're a good candidate for surgery. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to see you lose at least 35 pounds, okay? That's what I'm going to hold you to. Getting that weight down before surgery makes everything safer for you.
Is there a time frame?
1 to 2 months, okay? So we can get serious about it now. What do you think about that, Breia? 1 to 2 months. It's going to be some work.
Hello?
All right, let's get to work. Okay, we're going to get to work, sweetheart.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Y'all have a good day, and
All
we'll
right,
get to
thank
work on
you.
these. Thanks.
Thank you. It's okay. I know you want to cry. We're going to beat this. And you're going to be able to do all those things. You're going to be able to play volleyball. I'm coming to every game. It's going to work. It's going to work.
She making me cry.
But to motivate Breia to lose the 35 pounds, Melanie's and Breia Jenae's father, Ron, promised her a puppy if she just reaches the goal. And in just a few scenes, we see Breia down 35 pounds and getting her puppy. But just as with many surgeries in 2020 and 2021, the health crisis of today would cause her surgery date to be delayed. Despite this, Melanie's makes an extraordinary decision. She decides that now is the time for Breia Jenae to have her surgery, and they aren't going to put it off any longer despite the world being shut down. So with some crazy, stupid tenacity, Melanie's transports Breia across states from Humboldt, Texas to San Diego, California, where they found a physician and a medical center willing to proceed with her weight loss surgery immediately. So now it's 4 months later, and Breia has undergone bariatric surgery and is down 106 pounds. And in a touching scene, we see Melanie's perform a ceremony of prayer and symbolic burning of the 106 pounds never to return. They discuss her goal to get down to 180 pounds, and they hug, and this embrace struck me as extra long and an extra intense emotional embrace. Right after this scene, we see Breia Jenae undergo a test of sorts. It's Thanksgiving, and she's spending it at her grandma's house where there are piles and piles of food. But her mom is right there to support her, and even tells Breia that if the urges come too strong, they can go outside and get away from it all together. But we never see that become necessary. Breia Jenae is heavy on commitment and holds herself accountable.
Pie. It was food everywhere, all the time. So I know it's going to be difficult for her to say no to so much food.
We have some macaroni and cheese. We have some cornbread dressing. We got some rice. You got some fried chicken. This is ham. Then you got fried turkey and baked turkey. Oh, and then the gravy.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
I gave you $1 to eat some.
I'm good. I'll pass. Mm-hmm.
You feel bad?
I don't feel bad, but I mean, I'm going to miss eating it.
Because last year you was in it.
I'm tempted to go and eat something I'm not supposed to. But what's keeping me strong from not eating what I'm not supposed to eat is if I eat something else and my weight go up, it's not because somebody told me or made me, it's because I chose to. When my mind is set on something, it's going to continue to set on that until I finally reach that goal. So today on Thanksgiving, it might be some things that I wish I could eat or I miss eating, but I'm not going to eat. I'm just going to drink my water, laugh and talk, just have fun like I would normally do.
She has clearly matured and benefited from the efforts of her mom to, as Melanie's put it herself, correct the biggest mistake she ever made with Breia Jenae.
Let me look in your eyes to see if you understand. Do you know that I love you?
Yes.
And I want the best for you. But we're going to have to do some work. It's going to take a lot of changes in our life.
We can replace the chips and stuff and make me some fruit smoothies.
That'll be something to do. But this is not something you do and you stop. This is going to be a lifelong commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want this to work because you're my best friend. And I can't imagine my life without you in it. I don't want you to hurt anymore. I want you to be able to do all the things that you want to do. This is the one thing that I can't fix, and it hurts me so bad. You know what I say? When I first saw you, I said, oh my, that's my dream. Bria's my dream. You gonna help me? Who makes me smile? Guess what? When I first saw you, I said, oh my, Bria's my dream. I know this is gonna work. I want you to give me a hug, and I want you to know that I love you.
I love me too.
I love you. I love you.
In the very next scene, it's really like a sucker punch through the screen. We see Breia Jenae in the cemetery talking to her mom, as captions inform us that Melanie's has passed away suddenly. There's nothing to lighten the blow, and your heart simply breaks for Breia Jenae. You watch her standing there crying and speaking to her mother graveside, and you can't help but notice that Breia is much smaller and sad, but she's remarkably resilient. The rest of the story isn't without struggle and hardship as she deals with the titanic loss of her mother at such a young age. But she remains determined, and I really encourage you to go watch her whole episode to the end. It's a compelling story where you see a mom take responsibility for her mistake that has cost her daughter so deeply. Subsequently, you see her figuratively hand her daughter the baton of accountability and responsibility, telling her, I can't fix this predicament for you, but I'll be right here to support you, Breia. And in some moves that I can only attribute to true divine premonition or intervention, she wrestles fate for one last very important chance to support her daughter in a huge, tangible way by traveling miles to get her to that weight loss surgery despite a national emergency under those conditions at that time. And beyond the tangible, that ceremony Melanie's conducted for Breia Jenae, it struck me as a snapshot of the faith Melanie's was passing to her daughter so that she would have the strength to continue after her untimely exit from her life. Melanie's passed away suddenly and unexpectedly, but watching these scenes, you can't shake that Melanie's was moving with a sense of urgency to leave Breia Jenae in a state where she would actually have a fighting chance. What could have been done for Breia Jenae before she was 13 years old having to have surgery, and after years of bullying and a body plagued with conditions usually reserved for older bodies? And why is a good answer for this so difficult to come by? While I unequivocally recommend visiting a child's pediatrician for guidance, I can admit that I did not see much real success as I practiced in family medicine under the supervision of attending physicians advising me to recommend food diaries, increased physical activities, meetings with a nutritionist, and follow-up appointments. That's why I believe Melanie's when she told Dr. Eric Wilson before they had the surgery that they had tried diets and other doctors and nutritionists over the years, and yet they were still here having to plan weight loss surgery for a 434-pound Breia Jenae. And if in my short career I've seen this cycle, I know the old head physicians have. So like you, I wonder why medicine pretends to have better solutions for childhood obesity than they actually do. Just watched this clip from 2013 from a docuseries on OWN.
I'm hoping he's actually lost at least a pound or two. I'm hoping today.
Jalen?
Come on, that's us.
You ready to come in here?
That's us, come on.
Okay, buddy. Buddy, come stand right on the scale.
It's been a month since Jalen weighed in. He's been getting exercise, something Stacey hopes will work in his favor when he hits the scale.
Okay, you can have a seat right over here in the chair.
Sit.
He was 3 feet, 9.3 inches, and 101 pounds.
It's quite a bit more than last time, huh?
Yeah, that's not good.
Is this the first time he's been over 100 pounds?
Yes, it is. I'm very disappointed. I mean, there's got to be more that we can do. That's a dangerous weight for a 4-year-old.
We'll see how tall you are.
For a boy his age and height, Jalen should weigh about 50 pounds. At 101 pounds, he's twice as heavy as doctors recommend. While it's hard news for Stacey, Jalen is just too young to take it in. He only knows that he's hungry.
You were already... No, because you're over 100 pounds. No.
Please.
No.
Please.
No.
Please, Mama. Please, Mama. Mama, please.
No, Jalen.
Please, Mama.
It's a familiar routine, one that ends the way it usually does, with Stacey giving in.
I'll let you hold it. Don't eat anymore, Jalen. No, I'm not laughing.
Stacey is at the end of her rope, but doctors here have developed a multidisciplinary approach to address the causes and effects of Jalen's extra pounds. Mother and son see a tag team of specialists, a dietitian, a physical therapist, even a resident in psychology.
It's been getting harder to say no to him because he's constantly pleading with me and pleading with me and pleading with me all the time. And that's the hard part, just having to say no. I can say no and he's gonna still ask.
So in those instances when Jalen is profusely begging, what should she do?
She needs to ignore him, and we've talked about this, and that's...
Each team member drives home the same message. For Jalen to lose weight, Stacy has to hold firm and learn to say no.
I talked to the nutritionist, physical therapist, and the psychologist before coming in.
His primary care physician, Dr. Razak, has the toughest message.
I know it's not going to be easy hearing this, but I have to tell.
To me, they're approaching the situation with this little boy Jalen like him and his mom are the sole reason for his problem. Like, if things aren't working out, it's them, and they just need to understand how serious the problem is. Like, if they would just only follow their advice and plans, Jalen would be a normal-sized child. But I call foul on this whole narrative. Obesity is a multifactorial problem, and there's perhaps no greater display of this than when it comes to children. Breia Jenae, Jalen, they're big children, and if you look at their baby pictures, they were fat babies. They got dealt the big back genes, and they'll be fighting those influences for the rest of their life, and that's where I think it starts. Let's just put it all out on the table from jump. If I were still practicing, before I walked through established allopathic medicine protocols for prevention and treatment of obesity, which I would do, but first I would look at the parents of Breia Jenae or Jalen, and I would say, your child has a condition. They're going to have to be careful with their behaviors, or else that condition is going to lead to diseases. They're probably not going to be skinny children, and for that matter, they're not going to be skinny adults, but they're still going to have to watch what they eat. I would look at the child, I would look at Breia and say, most children can just eat what feels good, but part of your daily diet will have to include some things that you don't want to eat. Take those things like medicine to keep you healthy. I'd say to Jalen's mom, look, your child is obese and that is a crisis, so it's worth spending everything that you can around his condition to get him better. It's not all your fault. You didn't know at birth that your child had this particular set of genes and that weight would get this bad, but now you know. And just like the mom of a kid with leukemia or some other unfair malady, you're going to have to walk Jalen through some difficult aspects of being different. I feel like there's this element of shame and blame when it comes to dealing with families of obese children. And even if you can't agree about the impact of genes and other factors beyond their control, I think we can all agree that shame and blame rarely produces anything good and certainly nothing lasting. I believe in accountability and responsibility, but these are inspired by empathy that begins with care, as in responsible health care. Like, do medical professionals care that they themselves would probably struggle to keep children like Breia Jenae or Jalen healthy? And this despite them having livable, very good, beautiful salaried wages. Let me demonstrate. So I have a grocery app pulled up here to go through this demonstration. So let's say I'm a parent of one of the obese children like I used to see in clinic, a parent like that of Jalen, and I have a kid that is obese or either on the pre-obese side, and this is our normal shopping list for the week. I get him some Capri Suns and hot Cheetos and Uncrustables for lunch. For breakfast, he has Pop-Tarts, and for dinner, let's just say I get chicken nuggets, a week's worth, and a week's worth of fries, and then we have some little zebra cake rolls for snacks. Okay, my total for the week is $41.03 for his food. Now I'm going to show you what happens if I was to follow a typical nutritionist plan just for the food part. See on the screen right now might be a handout from a nutritionist for a simple dietary strategy. And this is simple because you want to get as close to the number 100 for the foods you choose as possible. So as you see on the one side, you have things like diet fizzy drinks and you have Swiss cheese and fried eggs. Not horrible things, but you want to get closer to the higher number things. So now having reviewed the nutritional handout, I'm trying to stick to foods that are closer to 100. So let's just say everything over 50. So for breakfast, I'm giving him some almonds. So I need to buy enough almonds for the week. And then maybe a fruit smoothie. So I need to buy smoothie supplies with the ingredients from the list. And so I'm buying blackberries and blueberries and some oat milk and some mango. So that's for breakfast. Now, when I'm thinking about lunch, even if I have all the money in the world, I have to think about something that's not perishable. And I have to think about something that the child does not have to warm up in the microwave or cook on the stove. Really hard, right, at school? So for lunch, I got him some pecans for the week, some popcorn with no oil and no salt, and maybe a banana. And that's about it for lunch. Pretty hard to send a kid to school with a lunch like that. I can maybe even include some mandarins so he has something sweet. Now, for dinner, I can get him cod fish fillets for the week. Get them some broccoli or some other vegetable that's on this list and score high with close to 100, and then some white rice. This would be a pretty hard diet for an adult to shift to, but for a child to have to be different at school and also have to do this not just one day but every day, even if you had the money, this would be pretty difficult. But let's look at the money. The cost for this grocery list to feed a child for a week is now $169.59. So even with resources to obtain fresh, healthy, filling foods for a child who is wired to be more hungry or more interested in food, it is going to be a struggle to eat less than their primitive drive tells them to. And as a parent who wants a happy child, it's going to be a struggle to navigate this. It doesn't mean you shouldn't. This is where the responsibility and accountability comes in. And this is why Melanie was honest with herself regarding her failures with Breia Jenae and found some determination and tenacity to work with the doctor to get her baby in a better position to win. It was a beautiful window into the origins of actual success when it comes to a situation as complex and difficult as childhood obesity. Melanie may have made some mistakes, but she did her big one before she checked out. She gave Breia Jenae a fighting chance, and every child deserves that.